Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the Export Shapes group in the Timesavers 3 tab of the Timesavers add-in. Now before I start, I do need to just mention that this function does not work on a Mac. I have tried different methods of getting it to work, and unfortunately the code that is required to actually export the shapes just does not work on a Mac. So that is beyond my control. If that ever changes, then I will obviously make the changes that I need to make sure that it works on a Mac. But at this stage, and for the foreseeable future, this function does not work on a Mac. So if you have a Mac, then I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. But for those of you who have a PC, then this is very useful if you are wanting to export multiple shapes simultaneously, but as separate pictures from your slide. So what you need to do, first of all, is I'm just going to go and add some pictures. So what I'm actually going to first do is I'm going to go and create some tiles using this function over here, which I will then export as pictures. So I'm going to go and create these tiles using these flowers, and I'm just going to make them a bit smaller. And then I'm going to go and turn them into tiles. So to do that, I'm going to go to my Timesavers 2 tab, and I'm going to create tiles. I'll just do tiles with the alphabet, and I will create those. So now each of those has been turned into a tile. So I'm just going to select all of those quickly and make the font a bit bigger so that it's more visible in the flower. And now all of those are selected. Because they're all selected, I can now go and use this function. Any shape that is selected, I can use this function. Okay, so now I can choose if I want to export PNGs or JPEGs. Now just before I start though, all the shapes will be exported as separate images. If there are shapes that are grouped, like in this case, each one of these tiles is actually a group. They will be treated as the group will be treated as a single shape, and it will be exported as a single shape. So each shape within that group will not be exported separately. Each group will be exported separately. And if there were shapes that were not groups, then they would obviously each be exported separately as well. So in this case, I'm exporting a whole bunch of groups as separate images. Okay, so I'm going to just select all of those again. Okay, so now I'm going to go and click on the export button, and I get asked what size I want to export this as. Now, I'm being asked for the resolution, but just be aware, when you're exporting shapes like this, it's not technically going to be the resolution that you're going to fill in. So I'm filling in a resolution of 300. But it's not actually going to be exported at a resolution of 300. It's actually going to still be exported at a resolution of 96 dpi. That is a limitation that is from PowerPoint, the way it works. However, the size is going to be larger so that the number of pixels will be the equivalent of what it would be if it was 300 dpi. And so when I fill in 300 dpi, or when I fill in 300, it's not actually going to be 300 dpi in terms of the resolution, but it means that the pixel size will be that much larger, so that it would be the equivalent number of pixels as if it was actually 300 dpi. Okay, so I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to fill in the name of the folder that I want to be created. So I'm going to call this folder Exported Shapes 1, and just like when I was exporting the slides, that folder will be created inside the same folder that contains this file. Now, something I didn't mention when I was talking about exporting the slides is when you create this folder, if you have not already saved this file anywhere, then the folder gets saved or created. I had to go and find it when I tried it out, and when I tried it out and I found it, it had been saved directly into my D drive, which I'm assuming is because I work mostly in my D drive. So you would need to go and find your folder. If you haven't already saved this file, then it doesn't have a root folder to look for to put this folder into. So then you would need to go, it would save it somewhere on your computer, and you would need to go and find out where that is. So I always recommend just making sure that you have saved this file so that you know where it is, and then you know where the new folder will be created. It's just the easiest. Okay, so when I do this, it will be saved into the same folder that contains this file. Okay, so I'm going to press OK, and now my images are being saved. So let me go and have a look at what they look like. So here it is, my new folder named Exported Shapes 1, and I click on there. And now if I open this, you can see, first of all, the pixel size is 899. Okay, so let me just go and have a look over here quickly. So each of these pictures, or each of these shapes, has a height of 2.95 and a width of 3 inches. So if that was exported at 300 dpi, that's 300 dots per inch, then it would be 900 pixels wide and just short of 900 pixels high. So when I look at this over here, it's not exact, but it is very close to 900 and just short of 900. So even though when I click on it and I go and look at it, the information, the file info over here, it is 96 dpi like I said it was going to be. However, because I exported it, when I exported it, I typed in 300, the dimensions, the actual pixel size that it was exported at is larger, which means that it's the same as if it was 300 dpi, even though it's not actually 300 dpi. The quality of the image is still the same as if it was 300 dpi. Okay, so now I'm going to close that. So I'm just going to select all of those and delete them. I also want to show you that you can do the same thing with if you have created a puzzle. So using my tool over here to create a puzzle, you can then go and export all of the puzzle pieces as separate shapes as well very quickly. So I'm just going to show you that quickly. Okay, so I've quickly inserted a picture that I am going to go and divide up into pieces. So I'm going to go to my Time Savers 2 tab and I'm going to create my puzzle pieces. So I'm going to make uniform puzzle pieces with a line and no text. So I'm going to I'll make that 3 rows and 5 columns. I'm going to create. Okay, so here are all of my puzzle pieces. Now if I select all of those and I go to the Time Savers 3 tab and I click on here for the export shapes, then I will choose 300 dpi and I'm going to save this in a folder named puzzle pieces. Then if I go and look in that folder over here, so here's my new folder named puzzle pieces, here are all of those puzzle pieces that have been saved. Okay, so that is how you use the Export Shapes group in the Time Savers 3 tab of the Time Savers add-in. I hope that has been helpful and I hope that you will enjoy using it and will save you a lot of time. Have a fantastic day. Thank you. Goodbye.